Stop right now, because what I am about to reveal to you will change your financial life in a way you never imagined. This is not an exaggeration, it is a divine truth. By the end of this simple prayer to Jesus, something absolutely extraordinary will happen. I am talking about a specific amount that is already destined for you. Yes, you read that right. And no, this is not an empty promise. Imagine receiving in your hands a financial blessing so great that you can barely believe it. Many doubt, but those who have faith and complete this prayer will see that money flow directly into their lives. The transformation will be quick and powerful, changing not only your bank balance but the course of your life. You might think this is impossible, but I assure you that God has already prepared that financial miracle, and it will be released as soon as you finish this prayer with total surrender. Are you tired of struggling, of worrying about debts, and seeing others prosper while you feel stuck? This is your moment to break free from all of that. Jesus is calling you, and this is your chance to experience the greatest financial miracle of all time. You can choose to ignore this opportunity or believe, pray, and watch as your life changes completely. That money has already been reserved for you, but only those who act now, who complete this prayer, will see the miracle happen. If you are still reading this, it's because this message didn't reach you by chance. This is the divine call that can change everything. Get ready, because when you finish this prayer, you will be part of something that only a few will have the privilege of experiencing. What are you going to do now? Ignore this call, or embrace your imminent financial blessing. Sometimes life feels like a long road full of uncertainties, but when we least expect it, a divine message emerges that changes everything. Jesus invites us to open our eyes, to receive a miracle that can transform our lives in unimaginable ways. It's not just a matter of faith, but of being attentive to the signs. That message can come at the most unexpected moment, just when we need it the most. Imagine receiving a financial blessing that not only solves your problems but guides you toward a more prosperous future. There are times when we feel like everything is against us, but the truth is, Jesus is always present, waiting for us to open ourselves to His miracles. He offers blessings that transcend the material, blessings that change the essence of who we are. But to receive them, we must have a prepared heart and believe without reservation. Because when you least expect it, those financial blessings, those financial miracles, can manifest. And that's when you understand that the divine goes beyond the visible. Divine intervention is not a distant or abstract concept. It's real and can happen at any moment. Jesus offers you today the possibility to transform your life with a single act of faith. This miracle will not only bring money into your hands, but also clarity, purpose, and direction. Have you ever wondered how your life would be if you fully surrendered to His plan? That financial blessing you've been waiting for could be just a step away from your faith. Many people search for quick solutions to their financial problems. But the real solution lies in trusting in the miracles that Jesus already has prepared. That financial blessing you so desire can manifest in a way you never imagined. It's not just about asking, but about deeply believing that the miracle is already on its way. The incredible thing is that when you place all your trust in the divine, doors open where there once were walls. What would happen if today you received the answer you've been waiting for? Money is not just a worldly resource. It can also be a vehicle to show God's power in your life. Jesus not only multiplies loaves and fishes, He also multiplies opportunities for you to receive financial blessings. But there's a secret. Only those who believe, those who truly open themselves to the miracle, will see that abundance manifest. The question is, are you ready to receive what Jesus has prepared for you? It's no coincidence that you are here, reading this now. In the Bible, we see multiple examples of how God transformed people's lives through His divine intervention. Think about the story of Job, who lost everything, but because of his unshakable faith, he received twice what he had before. Why would it be any different for you? That financial miracle you need is within reach of your faith. Jesus offers you today the same promise, but it's up to you to open your heart and be willing to receive. There are no limits to what God can do in your life. Often, financial miracles don't come in the form we expect. Jesus works in mysterious, but always just ways. You might be expecting a large deposit in your bank account, but the real miracle could be an opportunity, an idea, or a person who will change your life. Open your eyes and your heart, because Jesus' blessings come in unexpected ways. What seems like a small gesture could be the start of something monumental. Some people spend their whole lives chasing money, not realizing that true wealth is in divine blessings. Jesus reminds us that it's not just about accumulating earthly riches, but about receiving the blessings that change our souls. That financial blessing you desire so much, that financial miracle, is not just for you, it's for you to use for a greater good. God has chosen you to prosper, but also to share that prosperity. Jesus doesn't just offer miracles to change your financial situation, but to transform your perspective. When you receive His blessings, your vision of money changes. You stop seeing it as an end in itself and begin to understand that it's a tool to fulfill a greater purpose. That's the true transformation Jesus offers. It's not just that you receive more, but that you understand how to use it to do good. That's how money becomes a lasting financial blessing. Financial blessings don't always come immediately, but they always come at the perfect time. Jesus knows what you need, and His intervention is always timely. You might find yourself in a situation where everything seems dark, but it's in that precise moment that the miracle is closest. The key is to keep the faith, even when everything seems lost. Are you ready to receive that blessing just when you least expect it? You are not alone on this path. Jesus is with you every step of the way, guiding you toward the prosperity He has promised. He knows every one of your problems, every one of your financial struggles, and He has a plan to take you beyond them. Life can be difficult, but with Jesus by your side, miracles are possible. What seems like an insurmountable mountain today will be just a small obstacle tomorrow. Trust in His power, and you'll see how everything changes. Divine intervention is not just for a chosen few, it's available to all those who believe. Jesus offers this miracle today, but only those with unshakable faith will see it manifest. It's not just about waiting, but about acting in faith. The transformation is within your reach, but you must be ready to receive it. That financial miracle is closer than you think, but are you ready to open the doors of your heart? Now that you understand the magnitude of this divine message, the question is, what will you do with this information? Jesus has shown you that the miracle is available, that the financial blessing is waiting. All you need is faith, action, and the willingness to receive. The promise of divine wealth is something that many long for, but few fully understand. It's not simply an amount of money that suddenly arrives, but a complete transformation of life. When Jesus promises a financial blessing, it's not just to improve your current situation, but to change your entire future. This promise of wealth is meant for you, but it only materializes when you believe in His power and the purpose He has for your life. The question is, are you prepared to receive this change? Throughout the Bible, we see how God fulfills His promises time and again. The promise of wealth is not just a spiritual metaphor, it is a reality that can manifest in your life today. Jesus has a prosperity plan for you, a financial miracle that will radically change your situation. But to receive this financial blessing, you must open your heart and accept that you are worthy of it. It's not a matter of luck but of faith in the divine promise that is already made. Many times, we think that wealth is something that can only be obtained through physical effort, but true abundance comes from God. His promise of prosperity goes far beyond the material, encompassing every area of our lives. The money that will come into your hands as a result of this financial blessing is only the beginning. With this wealth, you will be able to help others, to fulfill your purpose on earth. Jesus promises more than you can imagine, but you need to be ready to handle that prosperity with wisdom. Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that everything has changed, that the financial blessing you've been waiting for has finally arrived. It's not an impossible dream, it's Jesus' promise to those who have faith. He has seen your struggles, He knows your needs, and now He is ready to open the doors of abundance. However, it is crucial that you understand that this wealth is not just for you, but to fulfill the purpose God has for your life. When you receive it, what will you do with it? Jesus teaches us that wealth is not just money in the bank, but a full and abundant life. This promise of wealth implies more than material goods. It includes peace, happiness, and the fulfillment of your divine mission. That financial blessing you're waiting for will not only improve your life, but also those around you. The prosperity that comes from God has no limits, but you must trust in His plan. Are you ready to accept this promise and allow Jesus to guide your life? When we talk about divine promises, we are not talking about empty promises. God always fulfills His word, and if He has promised wealth for you, you can be sure that it will come. However, there is a preparation process. Jesus wants you to be ready to receive this abundance, to have the right mindset to manage it. Not everyone can handle the weight of prosperity, but if you are willing to learn, He will guide you. That financial miracle you've been waiting for is closer than you think. It's no coincidence that you are here, reading this at this moment. Jesus has prepared this message for you because He knows you are ready to receive His promise of wealth. You may have gone through tough times, but those challenges have prepared you for this moment. The promise of a financial blessing is not just to change your situation, but to transform your entire life. Now it's your turn to act, to believe in what Jesus has said, and to prepare yourself for the radical change that's coming. The Bible is full of stories of people who trusted in God's promise and saw their lives change completely. Jesus offers you the same opportunity today, a life of abundance and prosperity. It's not just about receiving money, but about receiving a spiritual transformation that will impact every area of your life. That financial blessing you've been waiting for is a door that opens to a future full of possibilities. But first, you must accept the promise and believe that it is for you. The world may say that wealth only comes with effort and sacrifice, but Jesus teaches us something different. He promises a prosperity that is not based on human effort, but on His love and grace. That financial blessing is not something you can earn, but something God gives you because He loves you. Are you willing to trust in His promise, even when the world says otherwise? Divine wealth comes when you stop struggling and start believing. Sometimes, the biggest obstacle to receiving the promise of wealth is our own doubt. We tell ourselves that we are not worthy, that we cannot succeed. But Jesus sees in us what we cannot see ourselves. He knows that we are capable of receiving and managing the prosperity He promises. That financial blessing is not just a distant dream, it is a reality that can manifest in your life today. All you need is faith and a willingness to receive it. The promise of divine wealth will not only change your bank account, it will change your heart. When you accept the abundance that Jesus offers you, you begin to see the world differently. That financial blessing you desire so much is only the beginning of a larger transformation process. With it will come a new way of living, thinking, and acting. Jesus is preparing you for something much greater than you can imagine. Although difficulties may seem overwhelming at times, remember that every challenge is a preparation for the financial miracle that is coming. The promise of wealth is not just for a few, it is for all those who believe. Are you ready to receive it? If you trust in Him, prosperity will arrive at the perfect time. What will you do with this information? Don't let fear or doubt stop you. Jesus has promised you a financial blessing, a miracle that will transform your life. It's time to take action, to believe in His promise, and to prepare yourself to receive. The prosperity you long for is closer than you think, but it's up to you to open the doors of your heart. Have you ever thought about how quickly God can change your life? In just 10 minutes, His power can transform any situation that seems impossible. There's no need to wait years to see change. Miracles happen the moment you decide to fully believe. The key is to have faith, a faith that does not doubt, a faith that knows that everything is possible with God. If today you decide to trust in His power, in less time than you imagine, you could be living the miracle you've longed for. Throughout history, we've seen how God has acted in minutes to change entire destinies. Think of Moses, who in an instant saw the sea part before his eyes. That same power is still active today. The transformation you seek, that financial miracle that seems so distant, can arrive faster than you think. You just need to open your heart and be willing to receive it. In less than 10 minutes, your life could take an unexpected turn toward abundance. Time is relative when we speak of God's power. What may seem impossible for man is a matter of seconds for Him. If you have faith, if you believe with all your heart, you can receive that financial blessing you've been waiting for. Jesus doesn't need much time to work a miracle. In fact, the stronger your faith, the faster you'll see the results. The question is, are you ready to believe that in 10 minutes everything can change? The transformation in 10 minutes is not just a promise, it's a reality for those who believe. You could be on the verge of a monumental change, but only if you fully trust that God is in control. That financial blessing you so desire is just around the corner, waiting for you to take that step of faith. Don't underestimate the power of a single moment of complete surrender. In those 10 minutes, everything you thought impossible can become reality. You don't need a lifetime to see God's power in action. In just 10 minutes, He can open doors that once seemed closed. That financial miracle you've been waiting for doesn't have to take years to arrive. With the right faith, you could be closer than you think. Those 10 minutes could be the moment that changes everything. Imagine what God can do in your life if you decide to trust Him completely. There are people who have spent their entire lives waiting for a miracle, when the truth is that faith makes it possible in a matter of minutes. It's not about the time that passes, but about the belief you have in God's power. In those 10 minutes, He can transform your financial situation in a way you couldn't even imagine. All you need to do is believe, act in faith, and let God do the rest. In that brief time, your life can change forever. Faith in God knows no limits, and when you truly trust in Him, time ceases to be an obstacle. In just 10 minutes, you can receive an answer you've been waiting for years. That financial blessing, that financial miracle, is ready to manifest in your life. But first, you must be willing to believe that it's possible. What would you do if you knew that in the next 10 minutes you could receive what you've longed for? The transformation that God offers is not just material, it's also spiritual and emotional. In those 10 minutes, He can change not only your financial situation, but also your heart and mind. Jesus calls you to trust in His power, to believe that in the blink of an eye, everything can be different. When you accept this truth, you begin to see how doors open, how money comes to you in unexpected ways. Are you willing to trust in those 10 minutes of transformation? Sometimes it's hard to believe that something so big can happen in such a short time. But when you have faith in God, you understand that there are no limits to what He can do. That financial blessing you desire so much can arrive when you least expect it, in just a few minutes. The key is to be prepared, to have an open heart to receive. Do you dare to believe that God can work a miracle in your life in the next 10 minutes? Jesus teaches us that faith moves mountains, and those mountains can be financial, emotional, or spiritual obstacles. In 10 minutes, He can break down any barrier that stands in your way to prosperity. No matter how big the challenge you face, if you have faith, God will overcome it for you. Those 10 minutes could mark the beginning of a new life filled with financial blessings and miracles. Are you ready to see how everything changes? The transformation in 10 minutes is not just a miraculous event, it's an invitation to trust fully in God's power. He calls you to set aside your worries and believe that everything is possible with His help. That financial blessing you've been waiting for could be just minutes away. But for it to happen, you must be willing to let go of fear and doubt. In those 10 minutes, your life could take an unexpected turn toward abundance. In just 10 minutes, God can change the course of your life in a way you never imagined. But it's not just a matter of waiting passively, it's an invitation to act in faith. Jesus calls you to believe, to trust that the financial miracle you so desperately need is already on its way. Those 10 minutes are a symbol of God's immediate and transformative power. Do you dare to take the step of faith and allow Him to change your life today? God has already prepared the financial blessing you so desperately need. He is just waiting for you to trust in Him. In those 10 minutes, everything can change, but it's up to you to take that step of faith. Don't let fear or doubt stop you. The transformation is within your reach. All you have to do is believe in the miracle God has reserved for you. Faith is the foundation of everything we want to receive from God. It is the key that opens the doors to divine prosperity and financial miracles. Without unwavering faith, it is impossible to achieve the blessings Jesus has prepared for us. But what does it really mean to embrace faith? It's not just a superficial belief, it's a deep trust that no matter the circumstances, God is in control and His plan is perfect. When we talk about embracing faith, we are not talking about a faith that only manifests when everything is going well. On the contrary, true faith shows itself in moments of uncertainty when things seem to have no solution. It is in those moments when we must cling more tightly to God's promise. If you trust in Him, you will be prepared to receive that financial blessing you've been waiting for. God is already working in your favor, but you need to believe without doubting. Unwavering faith is the foundation of all prosperity. God not only promises to change our lives, but also prepares us to receive that transformation. The monumental change you are waiting for is closer than you think, but only those who have faith will see it manifest. That financial blessing, that miracle you long for, is for you, but first, you must fully trust that God is already working in your life. Sometimes embracing faith means setting aside our own plans and trusting that God's plan is much better. Maybe you're going through financial difficulties, but that doesn't mean God isn't working. In fact, those challenges are part of the preparation process to receive the blessing He has for you. Prosperity doesn't happen overnight, but when you have faith, you know it will come at the perfect time. Are you willing to wait in faith? Jesus calls us to have faith like a child's, pure and without doubts. That's the kind of faith that opens the doors of heaven, that brings financial miracles and blessings beyond what we can imagine. It's not about understanding everything, but about trusting that God has already done the work. When you embrace faith that way, you begin to see how things start to change in your favor. Are you ready to live in that unwavering confidence? Faith is not something passive. It's active and requires our constant participation. Embracing faith means making decisions that show we truly trust in God. It could be the step of investing in a project, helping someone in need, or simply maintaining a positive attitude in the face of adversity. Each of these actions reinforces our faith and brings us closer to the prosperity God has promised. What decisions will you make today to demonstrate your faith? The biggest obstacle to receiving the financial blessing you long for is not external circumstances, but internal doubt. Doubt is the enemy of faith, and it's often what prevents us from receiving what God has for us. But when you decide to embrace faith without reservation, the doors of prosperity begin to open. That financial blessing is closer than you think, but it's up to you to keep your faith strong and unwavering. Faith is not only important for receiving God's blessings, but also for keeping them. Many times, we receive something great from God, but at the first sign of difficulty, our faith wavers, and we lose what we had gained. Embracing faith means standing firm, even when things don't go as expected. If you can keep your faith in difficult times, you will see how that financial blessing you received multiplies. God has already prepared the path to your prosperity, but He needs you to trust Him throughout the process. Sometimes things seem to get worse before they get better, but that's not a sign that God isn't working. In fact, it's in those moments when your faith is being strengthened. If you can keep your unwavering faith during those times, you'll be ready to receive the prosperity God has promised. Are you willing to trust His plan, even when you don't understand it? The Bible is full of stories of people who embraced faith and saw their lives change completely. Think of Abraham, who trusted in God and became the father of many nations. That same faith is what Jesus is asking of you today. If you can trust Him, you will see how that financial blessing you've been waiting for materializes. The miracle is ready. You just need to have enough faith to see it manifest. Embracing faith is not always easy, especially when circumstances seem to be against you. But it's in those moments that God acts most powerfully. Faith is not about seeing the results immediately, but about trusting that God is working in your favor. That financial blessing you long for may be just a step away, but you need to keep your faith firm. The monumental change you are waiting for is closer than you think. Every time you decide to embrace faith, you are opening the door for God to act in your life. Don't let doubt hold you back. Jesus has already done His part. Now it's your turn to trust completely in His plan. If you can do that, you will see how everything starts to change for the better. God has already prepared the monumental change you've been waiting for, but it's up to you to keep the faith. No matter how difficult the circumstances may seem, remember that God has a perfect plan for you. The prosperity you long for is within reach of your faith. Open your heart, trust in Him, and get ready to receive the blessings that are on the way. The truth is, God sees everything. There is not a single moment of pain or anguish that goes unnoticed before His eyes. Every tear you shed, every moment of suffering, is seen by Him with compassion and love. God not only watches but is preparing the exact moment to intervene in your life and offer you the victory you so desperately need. Life can be hard, full of challenges that seem insurmountable, but we are never alone. God is always present, seeing every step we take, every obstacle we face. Although sometimes it may seem like we are struggling in the dark, He is there, guiding us and waiting for the perfect moment to act. That financial blessing you've been waiting for has not been ignored. God already has it prepared, and when the right time comes, you will receive it in abundance. Many times we think that God only intervenes in the big events of life, but the truth is, He is present in every detail. From the small daily concerns to the major financial challenges, God sees it all. There is nothing that escapes His sight. And although it may sometimes seem like He is not acting, He is working silently, preparing your life for the miracle that is to come. That financial blessing you long for is on its way, even if you can't see it now. God doesn't just see your pain, He also sees your effort, your faith, and your determination. He knows every sacrifice you've made, every tough decision you've taken. And in His infinite wisdom, He is preparing the reward that you deserve. That financial blessing won't come by chance. It will come because God has seen everything you've done to stand firm in your faith. Trust that His intervention is closer than you think. In the darkest moments, it's easy to feel like we are alone, but it is precisely then that God is closest. He sees your suffering, hears your prayers, and knows the desire of your heart. That financial blessing you so desperately long for has not been forgotten. God has it reserved for you, and it will come at the perfect time, when you are prepared to receive it. Don't lose faith because His intervention is on its way. Every tear you've shed has a purpose. Every pain you've felt has been seen by God. He doesn't let any suffering go unnoticed. And although we may not always understand why we are going through certain trials, we must trust that God has a bigger plan. That financial miracle you desire so much is part of that plan. But first, you must trust that God is already working in your life, even when you don't see it. God never forgets His children. Although the world may seem indifferent to your pain, God is attentive to every detail of your life. He knows what you need and when you need it. That financial blessing you are waiting for will come, but only when God deems it the right time. It's not about our expectations, but His perfect timing. Trust that He has everything under control and that nothing escapes His notice. Sometimes the wait is the hardest part of the process, but it is in the wait that our faith is strengthened. God doesn't just see your pain, but also your perseverance. He knows how many times you've wanted to give up, but He also knows how many times you've decided to keep going. That financial blessing you are waiting for is not just a matter of time, it's a matter of faith. God has already seen everything you've gone through, and when the right time comes, His intervention will be evident. The Bible teaches us that God knows even the number of hairs on our heads, which means that there is nothing in our lives that He doesn't see. Every small detail of our existence is important to Him. That includes your financial concerns, your fears, and your hopes. God has already seen your future, and He has a plan to prosper you. That financial blessing you long for is part of that plan, and it will come when you least expect it. Often, suffering makes us feel invisible, as if no one can see what we are going through. But God sees everything, even the things we ourselves can't understand. He knows why you are facing these challenges, and He also knows when it's time to bring relief. That financial blessing is closer than you think. God has been watching your situation, and He will soon intervene to bring you the victory you so desperately need. There is not a single day that God is not present in your life. Every step you take, every decision you make, He sees it all. And although it sometimes feels like you are walking alone, God is there, guiding your steps and preparing the way for the blessing that is to come. That financial blessing you so desperately long for is not far off. God has seen your efforts, and He is ready to reward you at the right moment. God doesn't just see your pain, He also sees your hope. He knows that you continue to believe, despite the difficulties, and that will not go unnoticed. The financial blessing you've been waiting for is a reward for your faith. God has it prepared, and when the time is right, it will be greater than you imagine. Keep trusting, because He never forgets His children. He has seen every tear, every effort, and He is preparing the victory you so desperately need. That financial blessing you long for will come at the right time, and it will be greater than you could have ever imagined. Trust that God not only sees your pain, but He is also preparing your victory. You just need to keep moving forward in faith.